So you seriously clicked this video after you saw the title? I don't know what to tell you besides be prepared. Welcome back to another video. I have gone down the darkest side of the internet and have gathered many videos for us to watch tonight. Only thing I can say now is viewer discretion is advised.
Breaking news, what's happening in Mexico right now is truly astonishing. One of the world's most wanted drug lords just went down in a massive Mexican military raid near Guadalajara, and the entire region is shutting down in response. Within an hour of Sunday's operation, the CJNG cartel retaliated by burning buses, blocking highways, and forcing schools and businesses to close across 5 Mexican states. And now traders on Polymarket are giving a 40% chance that the US launches an anti-cartel ground operation in Mexico by June 30th. The question is, does this push Trump to send troops across the border like he's been threatening? Or does Mexico get control before that happens?
For everyone that's watching right now and you don't know what's going on right now in Mexico, please pay attention because there's a lot more of these clips to come. This is absolutely insane. If you guys don't know what's going on in Mexico, as you heard, there's a whole war practically at this point occurring, and it sounds like odds are the United States might get involved later. There's a lot more of these clips we're going to be going into towards the end of the video, so please stay tuned because this topic is very serious.
The drug cartel in Mexico is currently attacking innocent civilians, people who are going into malls and grocery stores and other places. And thanks to Donald Trump's closed border policies, these horrible people can't come into America. But if it was up to the Democrats, this would look like America because that's what open borders bring you.
Do you know that one of Disney's most iconic ride vehicles is actually sunk at the bottom of the ocean in the Caribbean? Welcome to Secrets of the Kingdom, where we dive into Disney's lore, forgotten history, and crazy urban legends. During the early 90s, Fantasyland over in Magic Kingdom was actually home to this massive 11.5-gallon lagoon. And this was the attraction known as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Now, this wasn't just a surface level boat ride. You could actually climb into this submarine. And once you got into this submarine, you would grab your seats, take a look through these portholes, and Captain Nemo would guide you through squids, the lost city of Atlantis, and even some shipwrecks. This was without a doubt one of the most immersive and also expensive attractions that Disney ever built. But as you can imagine, for a ride like this, maintenance was an absolute nightmare. In 1994, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was abruptly closed, and this lagoon sat abandoned for nearly a decade. And you might be wondering what happened to these submarines and where they even wound up. So this is where things get really interesting because most of this fleet was scrapped, but a couple of these subs were given a very different burial. You can actually find one of these sunken submarines over at Castaway Cay, which, if you don't know, is Disney's private island. Disney basically sunk this on purpose so that it could become part of their snorkeling lagoon. And one of those subs is still resting there at the bottom of the ocean to this day, acting as an artificial coral reef. This attraction, of course, had to be replaced with something new, and you might be wondering what's there today. Well, next time you go to Magic and you take a ride on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or you head over to the Little Mermaid ride, pay attention because you're actually standing on top of what was once that massive lagoon. Most people don't realize when they're walking through this area that they're actually walking on top of a paved over ocean. All in all, this attraction was as innovative as it was immersive. And there's only one place in the world left for you to still experience this submarine, but you're gonna need a pair of fins and a snorkel to find it. Do you think that they should have kept this attraction, or did you even experience this yourself? Do you miss the original lagoon, or do you prefer Seven Dwarfs Mine Train being in that space? Let us know down in the comments which you prefer, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that follow button because we have a bunch more Disney history, lore, and nostalgia coming your way.
According to new reports, Epstein hid secret files in storage units across the US, and authorities have never raided these lockers. Now, this comes from an exclusive report from The Telegraph published yesterday on the 22nd of February. They claim that Epstein paid private investigators to take sensitive material from his home, including the island, which included things like computers, CDs, photographs, and documents, and then placed them in 6 different storage facilities he allegedly paid for. In fact, The Telegraph claimed to have obtained credit card receipts which confirm that Epstein rented various storage units between the year 2003 all the way up to his death in 2019. And according to search warrants, which The Telegraph also claimed to have obtained, the US authorities have never raided these lockers, raising the question, is there a trove of evidence stashed in these units not yet seen by authorities?
This might be the scariest video on YouTube. A paranormal investigator ventured out into the Pine Barrens to see if there was any truth behind the Jersey Devil myth. They interviewed a village owner who claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil in her trash can. They went to the Leeds home, which is the original home from where this myth all began, and they ended the night on a farm deep in the Pine Barrens. Woods. The host had learned of a ritualistic chant to summon the creature and decided to put it to the test. They didn't take this seriously until it was too late.
Mother leads, hear my call, let your devil rise and fall. Wings of night and hooves of flame come and I speak your name. All right, let's see. Do you guys see anything?
I think you gotta flip the camera around.
Oh, do you guys see anything?
I think you gotta flip the camera around. Oh my god.
I can't.
Do you believe in the Jersey Devil?
Not really, no.
Oh my god, wait, watch out. Look at that spider.
What, where?
You see it? It's like that big, like...
Comments started flooding the video saying that they had missed several spots that they thought the Jersey Devil was in. There were actually more sightings than they realized.
Oh my god, what was that? I was just... I'm getting so spooked.
Oh, that makes what happened later that night even scarier, because things took a dark turn.
Wait, listen. Listen.
Also, hi, I'm Grace. That's my YouTube video, Hunted by the Jersey Devil. Can I be your horror girly?
I'm gonna sign my little girl up for a beauty pageant. I'm gonna put her in a cute little dress, and I'm gonna make her hair so big that it weighs down on her neck, and I'm gonna give her a full beat makeup look with the huge lashes that make her look 20 years older than she actually is. Then I'm gonna have her parade on stage, walk around, do some posing, twirl a little bit, and people are gonna record it, post it online, and people are gonna watch it. Oh, and people are also tuning in live, betting on this show to see which child is gonna win. Old men, sorry, that are tuning in and betting their money on which child is gonna win the beauty pageant. It's just gonna be so fun for her, and I want her to win, and what the fuck, why are we still doing this?
There is something dark in the Appalachian Mountains. There's actually like a set of rules that the locals set up that you have to follow if you go hiking in there. The first rule is to never be in the woods from dusk till dawn. And these rules are like very strictly enforced by the locals. Like it's no joke. The second rule is to never leave the marked trail because it is marked off for a reason. So many people get lost or go missing in the Appalachian Mountains. People have seen weird things. There's so much folklore. And the third rule is if you hear voices close to you, they're far away. But if the voices are far away, then they're near. And if the voices are saying your name, do not answer them. And I'm showing you all of these like real photos people have actually taken. The fourth rule is do not whistle or sing in the woods. And the fifth rule is never look too hard in the trees because you might not like what you see. And there are so many people in the area that will like talk about this online. They'll be like, do not mess around. Do not stray from the path. This is not a joke. This is not something you should mess with. Like there is some dark force in that woods. There's some weird energy. And these people are like, we don't say that to scare you. This is real. This is real stuff. And we want you to stay safe. And that's why we talk about it so much. And they said there's like things and spirits in the woods that you don't want to interact with. But I've also heard people talk about how they've been on the trail and there are really sketchy people on that trail and that you should never go there alone. Like this mountain range is older than the dinosaur.
This disturbing and completely unexplained video has already gotten over 18 million views. It was posted by a young woman who went on a hiking trip in the Appalachian Mountains with her friends. According to her, at some point they started hearing strange sounds coming from somewhere in the distance. They decided to follow the noise, and what they saw left them absolutely shocked. The girl immediately pulled out her phone and started recording. In the footage, you can clearly see that the hikers managed to capture what appears to be a real centaur. For those who don't know, a centaur is a mythical creature from ancient Greek mythology, half human and half horse. And honestly, this doesn't seem to have any logical explanation at all. Could it really be possible that something like this exists in the Appalachian Mountains? I started looking into this topic, and it turns out this isn't even the only video where people have reportedly encountered real centaurs in the Appalachians. In all of these clips, people clearly try to keep their distance and record from hiding, because there's no guarantee that centaurs would be friendly toward humans. So what do you think this actually is? High quality AI work? Or do the Appalachian Mountains really hide more than just skinwalkers and other dark creatures?
Here's the most important email from the Epstein files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging. What does this mean? It means that the adrenochrome conspiracy is not a conspiracy and that Hollywood and some of the political elite are blood-drinking satanic pedophiles. First, let me explain what adrenochrome is. It's a chemical that is released in the bloodstream when adrenaline oxidizes. It's the body's response to extreme levels of fear, especially in children. Some people call it the fountain of youth. I remember when Mel Gibson said that this is the most valuable currency in Hollywood, and they called him crazy. Now they're doing the same thing to Nicki Minaj. If we look back, they showed us adrenochrome in multiple movies. We were just not paying attention. Okay, so we know that many celebrities and politicians on the right and on the left are on tape doing unthinkable things to children, and that's how they're blackmailed to push a certain agenda, and that's why the US is controlled by a foreign country. But somehow, there are no arrests, and people are still watching the Grammys, watching their movies, buying their products, and voting to have these rats in office. And while we're talking about this, countries are still being invaded, resources are still being stolen, markets are still being manipulated, we're still being divided, and a digital prison is still under construction. Let's not lose our focus here, but it's also time to demand justice.
What do you mean Mexico has turned into Gotham City? For those of you guys who don't know, they basically offed the Mexican cartel leader, and now the cartel is crashing out. And I ain't gonna lie, it's looking like the World Cup might get canceled, because there's ice in America, and in Mexico is Gotham City. If you search up Mexico right now, you will deadass think what's going on is AI generated. Like, send this video to anybody who's going to Mexico in the near future and tell them to cancel that. They're lighting everything on fire, blowing everything up, switching down everybody. It's just crazy. Like, imagine you just went on a fun family vacation to Mexico and you get blown into bits. Send this to your...
Let's take a quick pause. If you're still watching, it means a lot. It means you're actually enjoying this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe because there's a lot more to come. I enjoy doing these videos as often as I possibly can. Welcome to the family. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. Let's get back to it.
Oh, the FBI director and his girlfriend whole situation is actually insane. So the whole crash out started when information leaked from the FBI that its director, 45-year-old Kash Patel, used a $60 million private jet to go watch his 26-year-old girlfriend sing the national anthem at a wrestling match. Now, the internet was in uproar about this, especially since it's during a government shutdown. And honestly, this must have struck a nerve because Kash then took to Twitter to write this. He said that uninformed internet anarchists are spreading baseless rumors and that going after people in his personal life is a total disgrace. Kash said that the disgusting attacks against his girlfriend Alexis are beyond pathetic and that she has done more for this nation than most will in 10 lifetimes. He called her a rock-solid conservative and a country music sensation, which I guess is open for interpretation. Bro, the crash out was so intense that he even started turning on the brothers, saying, and to our supposed allies staying silent, your silence is louder than the clickbait haters. Bro is pissed. But it gets even crazier because even more information started coming out today reporting that Kash grew so outraged by the news stories about his private jet use that the head of the FBI's critical response group, which is responsible for overseeing the agency's fleet of jets, has now been fired. Bro worked at the FBI for 27 years. The FBI's assistant director for public affairs defended Kash, saying that the FBI directors, they're actually mandated to travel using a government plane, even on personal travel, saying that they're actually banned from flying commercial. He also claimed that Kash pays upfront reimbursement on all personal travel. So the question is, was this crash out fair, or was Kash's use of this private jet?
This is what I would do if I was Jeffrey Epstein's madam, aka Ghislaine Maxwell. I would find someone poor that looks like me, swap them out with me in prison because I have the power and the prison guards will let me do it. That's exactly what she did. The elite are playing us. Look at this. The nose, the chin, the entire facial structure does not change automatically when you're in prison. They're playing us right in front of our eyes. Do not go to my profile because I do have some other Epstein stuff on there that will...
What would you do if you noticed a child standing alone in the middle of the woods, dressed like they were from another century? This true story comes from James, who grew up in Thundersley, Essex. One night when he was a teenager, he and a friend took a shortcut through some woods to get to his friend's house. As they were walking, they noticed a child peering at them from behind a tree, and immediately something felt very wrong. They The kids' clothes look really old, like they're from the Victorian era, worn and tattered. The child moves and hides behind the tree, and James and his friend panic and run away. After that, it was just a creepy story that James and his friend would tell at parties. That was until years later when James found a book called Haunted Essex. And in it, there's a story about those exact woods. A young boy tragically lost his life there in the 1700s, and according to the story, his body was hidden in the hollow of a tree. Ever since then, people have reported seeing a ghostly boy in those woods and hearing him scream, earning the area the unofficial nickname of Shrieking Boys Wood.
Okay, I didn't believe this at first, but this has got to be the most unbelievable event in sports history. And usually I say there's no such thing as coincidences, but this is just on another level. Now, Team USA wins gold on the 46th anniversary of the movie Miracle on Ice. Now, at the 51st minute of the movie Miracle on Ice, the coach crosses out the name Jack Hughes. He cuts him from the list in the movie playing against Russia. Now, around that same minute, the name Jack Hughes is peeled off of the locker in the movie. And 46 years later, Jack Hughes scores the game-winning goal on the 46th anniversary of Miracle on Ice. Now, I don't know about you, but this makes me wonder how much of our reality is truly organic and not scripted.
This photo has always gave me the creeps. In 2012, a demolition crew tore down an old school. During the demolition process, a woman snapped a bunch of pictures of the demolished parts of the school. But in one photo, there's something standing inside the undemolished part of the school. Right here. It's kind of hard to see at first, but when you brighten this image, you can actually see what looks like a woman with her head cocked all the way to the side, pointing towards the undemolished part of the school. Honestly, it's just one of those photos that give you goosebumps because you want to know the backstory to this. Like, is this apparition somehow trapped inside this school? Why is she pointing in that direction? It also looks like her head is just abnormally laid to the side. Almost like it's snapped or something. Of course, the rest of the school was tore down and a new school was built on the property. I wonder if this ghost went away with the old school or if it's still there. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know. And don't forget to like and follow for more creepy content. Good night.
Already know by now that Mexico's most wanted cartel boss, who had a $15 million bounty on his head, was just found and killed. And now, thousands of cartel members are on the streets, rioting and burning cities down. But not enough people are talking about how he was found and killed. And right now, traders on Polymarket are predicting there's a 19% chance that the United States will intervene in Mexico within the next month. The crazy thing is, this cartel boss wasn't even found because intelligence agencies were following some kind of money or drug trail. They somehow found the most wanted man in all of Mexico through one of his side chicks. Imagine all your drug trafficking, human trafficking, extortion operations all run perfectly smoothly with zero loose ends, and your minions worked for you with absolute loyalty. But just because you were a little bit down bad for some random huzz, you were tracked, you were discovered, and you were killed by the Mexican military. Moral of the story, maybe some women just can't be trusted. But on a serious note, props to this woman for being so...
Remember the Katy Perry music video when she was getting cut up? It was, yeah, you don't know this one? What? Bon Appetit by Migos.
She was like being eaten.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a video of Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse. There was a scene of her getting carried. The floor looked like this. Look at this.
Oh. No.
The exact same floor, fam.
Katy Perry, Migos.
Cause I'm all that you want, boy. All that you can have, boy. Got me spread like a buffet. Bon appetit, baby. Appetite for seduction. Fresh out the oven, melt in your mouth, kinda love it. Under candlelight, we can wine and dine. A table for two.
And in the video, what did Katy Perry do? She got eaten by people. So they're playing in our face because that's what happened in these houses. If you're connected to Epstein, what is it? Like, you get more money? Like, what's...
Bro, you're making a
part of
deal with the
power.
devil. Let's say you're an aspiring celebrity.
Yeah.
If you want to be in these movies, I know every single director. Yeah. But what you have to do for me, you have to go have with that, you know, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna record it.
So they have something against you.
I have something on you because I can control you now. So I make you a star. Now you're important. And guess what? You're my pawn. These people are like using celebrities as chess pieces. And that's the problem I have with all these subliminals we see in media, because it's like they're giving a little bit to us because it's already done.
Yeah.
Like, we're joking about it because we did that to you.
The origin of Bikini Bottom blew my mind. What if I were to tell you guys that Bikini Bottom is not just a play on words for adults, but it's actually a real place? Around the 1950s, the US used an island called Bikini Atoll to detonate at least 23 nuclear bombs. So basically, Bikini Bottom is actually about the sea life that lived under the nuclear bombs. And I'm going to tell you exactly why this is true. I don't know about you guys, but I always wondered how there is water under the water. That's because Goo Lagoon is not water. It's toxic waste from the nuclear bombs. Another reason why this is fact is look at Sandy. This may look to you like a little dome and suit that helps her breathe underwater, but to me, it's a hazmat suit. Look familiar? Also, why are so many of the characters dressed as if they were from the 50s? Nobody wears this anymore. Also, why is the show so obsessed with bombs? For example, the pie bomb episode. Now, if you are not sold on this theory, I am going to put the icing on the cake for you. Remember the episode where SpongeBob was trying to get Plankton to lighten up and they made the fun song? Do you remember Plankton's words for the fun song? F is for fire that burns down the whole town. U is for uranium. Bomb. I don't know about y'all, but my mind was blown. Do you guys believe this to be fact or theory?
Puras 4 letras gritaron. Puras 4.
This girl ripped out her own eyes and crushed them in her hands. In 2018, Kaylee Mutthart, a 20-year-old woman from South Carolina, suffered a severe drug-induced psychotic episode after being awake for nearly 48 hours while using methamphetamine. During the episode, she experienced intense hallucinations and religious delusions, believing she needed to blind herself to save the world. In a state of extreme distress, Kaylee forcibly removed her own eyes and crushed them in her hands. A nearby pastor discovered her injured and called for emergency assistance, but doctors were unable to save her vision. Kaylee survived the incident and later spoke publicly about her experience, emphasizing the devastating impact of substance abuse and untreated mental health crisis.
These people don't know how lucky they are. Yeah, guys, these people are extremely lucky to be alive. So not everyone might understand why this is such a dangerous situation, so let's go over it. So for context, this video was posted to TikTok and I came across it on my For You page. And at first you see this guy sitting on a log and it looks like he's floating in the middle of a lake. But then the camera pans over a little to the left and you see this dam. And then the camera goes over the dam and it zooms in on this boat that's against this brush right here. And basically what happened is these people's boat's motor stopped working and it went over the dam. And somehow they luckily managed to get on this log that was caught on the dam. But you see, this white water right here is actually impossible to swim in and there's no way to get out of it. And they actually call this area below a dam a death machine. And in the video, the people are sitting right here and right below them is this death machine. If you get caught right here, you basically spin around and around and there's no getting out of it.
Y'all hear about that guy in Panama that was raising the venom symbiote in his house? Yeah, let me give you an update.
What?
It can fucking swim, dude.
Oh, hell no.
When this guy first encountered this thing, it was tiny. He would keep it under some plastic or glass, but it was nothing to be concerned about. But then it got bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where he had to start putting it in a safe. How is this dude keeping this in his house this long? It got so big to the point where he had to take it out of his house. He ends up going to an abandoned building with a body of water in it, and he puts it in there. But this thing starts fucking swimming, bro. We cannot let this thing get near densely populated areas. This is literally the venom symbiote in real life. We need to just nuke the entire planet at this point. September is beyond cooked.
This man didn't shower for 60 years. This man is known as the dirtiest man in the world, and he spent more than 60 years refusing to bathe, convinced that soap and clean water would make him ill. He lived completely outside normal hygiene standards, eating roadkill, smoking out of metal pipes, and wandering the Iranian countryside covered in soot and earth. Yet he survived into his mid-90s, seemingly untouched by the infections people expected he'd suffer. Then, after villagers finally convinced him to bathe for the first time in decades, he passed away just months later. An eerie twist that only deepened his strange legend.
Okay, you are looking at the bridge from Terminator 2 Judgment Day when they come flying off of it in the transport truck, boom, lands in the culvert. It was an iconic moment and many people remember it. But there's something in this clip when it first was released that nobody noticed. We're talking about something hidden in plain sight that your subconscious mind picks up on, but your conscious mind doesn't even notice it. And by the way, Terminator 2, machines trying to enslave and destroy humanity. I wonder if this is hiding anything in plain sight for what the plan is now. So look at this. These bridges were not designed for any traffic underneath them. Therefore, per California law, they don't put clearances, height clearances, on these bridges because no one's supposed to be driving under them. Yet in Terminator, they happen to put a clearance notice of 9 feet 11 inches, 9/11. Keep in mind this movie came out in 1991. So we're talking about some producer or someone in the development team making this movie who wanted to put 9/11 as a clearance number on something that there doesn't need clearance on because no one's supposed to be driving under it. Absolutely shocking. And furthermore, this isn't the first movie that says something about 9/11. If you remember, The Patriot, Mel Gibson, at 3 minutes and 33 seconds into The Patriot, Mel Gibson is trying to make this rocking chair. He hangs it from a scale hanging from a board. And he says, 9 pounds, 11 ounces. Perfect. Something's going on with Hollywood, man. We're going to discuss more about this in a deep dive on my Rumble channel. If you want to tune in, click the link in my bio or comment Rumble below and I'll send you a link to it. It's a free speech platform, free to download, free to watch, and free speech.
Breaking news, Trump is now threatening to invade Mexico and even informed their government last night that they could be next. Last night, the Trump administration sent out messages to the following countries threatening them that an American invasion will come if they do not comply. A shocking country was Mexico, as Trump aboard Air Force One said moments ago that, quote, something is going to have to be done about Mexico, hinting that they could also have a Venezuelan-type invasion where they go in and just take Claudia Sheinbaum, the president. He also openly threatened something he calls Operation Colombia, where the U.S. will go into Colombia and take Gustavo Petro, the president of Colombia, who is a staunch opponent of Trump. He also said that Cuba will be another target and said that, quote, they will soon fall. And then the reporters asked, are you going to go into Cuba? And he said, no, we'll probably have it toppled without going in. Assuming that the CIA is probably going to do what they've been trying to do for 50, 60, 70 years. Comment your thoughts, follow for more updates.
Could you survive 3 hours in the Amazon? Yes or no?
3 hours?
Yeah.
I could survive.
Really? Nah.
I'll survive 3 months. You don't think, like, if I got stuck in the Amazon, I wouldn't survive?
Yo, the greatest survivors, like Bear Grylls, wouldn't even survive that.
Bear Grylls would survive that. What are you talking about?
The Amazon?
I'm gonna end up in the tribe. I'm gonna end up a chief.
I knew you were gonna say that.
At first, what they would do, they would probably get me in one of those pig roast things, and then I'll, like the wood. I'll be cooking in the pot, in the water, and like they're boiling me up to eat. And I'll be like, yo, hold on. You heard that theory though?
Ghislaine Maxwell is trying to block the release of 90,000 more Epstein-related pages, and her lawyers are calling the disclosure law unconstitutional. So let's break it down. Maxwell's attorneys filed papers in Manhattan federal court to stop the release of documents from a decade-old, since-settled civil defamation lawsuit brought by Virginia Giuffre against Maxwell. The Justice Department has asked a judge to lift secrecy requirements on those files. Maxwell's lawyers say that Congress passed a law in December forcing the release of millions of Epstein-related documents, and they argue that it violates the separation of powers. They also argue that the DOJ obtained the materials improperly during its criminal probe, and say that the documents include transcripts of over 30 depositions, plus private financial and information about Maxwell and others. So the next thing to watch is whether the judge keeps these files sealed, releases them, or orders a narrower approach. So stay tuned for updates.
What is Trump hiding? He promised transparency with Epstein files. Instead, he redacted co-conspirator names and gave us this video of Jeffrey Epstein chasing girls around his kitchen.
Mexico's looking scary right now.
No way. That's insane.
I guess after the death of El Mencho, of one of the most powerful cartel leaders in Mexico, died in seconds, the whole Mexican place started going into flames. Videos started circulating of buses set on fire, cars being stolen, highways being crashed into, people running around with guns everywhere. I'm not trying to be like sarcastic here, but like it'd be looking like Tilted Towers. The crazy part about this is that people that like visited in Mexico, they can't even leave because it's in code red, so like they're basically stuck there. Damn, I low-key feel bad for like the people that wanted to take a vacation and went to Mexico. And all of this started because El Mencho died. And a lot of people are saying this is a good thing though. It should be, but like like once a cartel leader dies, the narc gang organization triples homicides. But yeah, they just go on a killing spree and they just find another leader to make everything worse. So it's basically a endless cycle of death. I hope Mexico goes back to being normal because like you can't even look at the sky because like it's covered by smoke. Guys, if this video blows up, I will go to Mexico and record and see if it's truly bad. But I know it's bad, but you know what I'm saying, for the content. But yeah, peace out.
Well, it turns out the only reason they caught El Mencho was because they tracked his girlfriend to his mountain hideaway. This is new reporting coming from the Wall Street Journal that exposes the way that they caught him. Early on Sunday, the elite Mexican Army team and National Guard Special Ops soldiers descended on the community of Tapalpa in western Mexico, where El Mencho, the head of the New Generation Cartel, remained holed up after his girlfriend left. They chased him and his bodyguards, and they eventually actually caught 3 of them, including El Mencho, alive, and they died on the way to Mexico City. This is the highest profile arrest since, I think, El Chapo in, was that 2016? And the way they got to him is they followed a guy who took her to the hideaway. I mean, it's actually sort of interesting that they were so sloppy, but just goes to show that everyone makes mistakes, even the cartel. 50 people died in the aftermath of the raid.
Can I tell you something? Yes, what? So I thought that you were gonna scare me when I came in. I don't know why. So in my dressing room, you have the bathroom with the cameras. So I put towels all over the camera. And I went and peed in Kobe Bryant's dressing room because I was scared. Well, you're right.
She's like,
I was
damn,
trying
he caught
an
me.
hour early, and I was trying to scare you. And
Scare
it was too, so it
you.
doesn't matter if you put the stuff over the cameras. I had to be in there, and you got here before I could get. I was gonna hide. See? You were right. Yes. You ruined it. I'm sorry. You ruined it. I'm sorry. Oh well, that's okay. Okay, I'll get you, my pretty. I'll get you. The last time I saw you was at the teen show.
What was she about to say? The what? The